Back in the 1990s, many years ago, the great OMC said, "How bizarre." And we continue that tradition today with DC McFarlane Toys' Bizzaro.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another DC McFarlane Toys unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we got the man, the myth, the legend, we got Bizzaro. But for all your Bizzaro needs and a whole lot more, better hit Walmart. That's where he's currently hitting. But for everything else and Bizzaro in the future, make sure you're hitting up jaystoysandgames.com. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. Got to get a deal out there. And of course, Bizzaro, one of the most famed Superman villains, at least for me personally. Of course, I remember the first time I saw Bizzaro when I was a little kid, I couldn't believe the bizarre things I was seeing, but I love the reverse nature of Superman. Of course, going back to the Super Friends, all that. That was probably the first time I ever saw the character, but I always thought it was a very cool one. And one so cool, we've had a couple of versions in the past from McFarlane Toys as well. But of course, with this one, we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And I'll never forget when I was a kid, my sister was listening to OMC. Oh, one of the greatest of all time. Absolutely not. But I remember her listening to that How Bizarre song just on repeat. It was on MTV all the time back in the day. And it was just god-awful then. It's god-awful now. But I'll never forget my sister, and I lost all respect for her immediately when she said this and never regained that respect for me, in all honesty, that she said this was the greatest song of all time. How Bizarre by OMC is the greatest song of all time. Are you kidding me? What? Todd said it's pretty good. Well, Todd, I don't know about you either. You're saying it's pretty good, the greatest song of all time, OMC, How Bizarre? Oh my goodness, it's a wild life I'm living in. I don't know what's going on. Am I in a movie right now? What is going on right now? But definitely not the greatest song of all time. When I hear OMC Bizarre, I always think of Bizzaro for some reason. How bizarre, of course. So bringing it all back home like a young Bob Dylan, as we always do here on the channel. But let's dive into this Bizzaro right here. Extra bizarre. Gold label, of course, at Walmart now. Could be other places in the future, as I did say. DC Multiverse, 12 points, or 12 and up, 22 points of articulation. Looking good in the packaging design, of course. On the side, nothing too fun over there. DC Classic Bizzaro. And then on the back, Bizzaro #1, as we see right there with the old chain around the neck. Looking pretty good. Can't wait to dive into this one here. Like the looks of this one. And of course, in the fame-honored tradition of action figures, see you later, goodbye. I would say most people think of this Bizzaro when they think Bizzaro. And we always say it on the channel. Some people disagree with me, but time and time again, I am proven correct. Oh, yes, it's true. But they always release the other versions first because, I really want Bizzaro. It's not the one I really want, but I want Bizzaro in my collection. I'll buy that one. Then down the line, they give you the one you really want. We see it all the time. It's a tale as old as time, of course. But let's get it out of the package. Uh-oh, see you later, goodbye. Oh, hooked the landing, landed on top of the camera. Oh my goodness, DC McFarlane stand, seen it before, we'll see it again. See you later, goodbye, off to the side. Like a young OMC, off to the side, never to be seen or heard from again. Bizzaro #1. Real name, N.A. That's a wild name. You think his parents could have had something a little bit more creative, but it does say N.A. Bizzaro is a Frankenstein-like monster with a heart of gold. Although he was originally created by Lex Luthor, he has gone on to prove that he is a moral character far superior to that of his mad scientist father. Possessing many Kryptonian abilities, albeit warped and twisted, this heroic clone of Superman fights for truth, justice, and the Bizzaro way. So a bit of a tweener there, as it's known in some circles. But happy to get this Bizzaro here. Looking very, very nice in the package. Plastic prison right there, of course. Twist ties for days. You can't keep a bad Bizzaro down, of course, as we know. Pull out some of this. We got the Cambodian tape holding those hands down, just holding them down. And you can't hold them down too long, of course. Truly how bizarre. There we go. Twist tie. Clean up this table. Get those off of here. There we go. I think we're about there. Oh, yeah, we're about ready to rock and roll, strut and stroll with Bizzaro. See you later. Goodbye. All right, let's look at the accessories first. How about we do get 2 open hands, or we do get a fisted hand and a gripping hand. Very strange out of the packaging, the position he was in, too, I did think. But 2 open hands right there. Gray, almost like stone-like on the hands is what it reminds me of. Like a young, rugged Ronnie Garvin. Hands of stone, maybe. Bizzaro, number 1, got that necklace because if you think it, you believe it, it'll come true. That's what happens. You keep everyday positive reinforcement. You look in the mirror, Bizzaro number 1. Bizzaro number 1. You look in the mirror every day, you say that, and eventually it will come true. And that's what happened with Bizzaro right there. How about that? But now, diving into Bizzaro right here, definitely my Bizzaro out of the ones we've got so far. And once again, we will do some comparisons later on in this video. Let me get him straightened up out of the package here. And I guess we'll start with the head sculpt. It looks like zombie Superman is what it looks like there. He's got very much like a stone-like face. You got some dings and dents in it. Truly bizarre, of course. A little bit spiky in the hair. A little bit different than our traditional Superman. Just almost looks like Bruce Campbell in some ways as well, of course. But looking very good here in the head department. Big S logo. Got a little bit of a gloss to it. A little bit of a shine. Of course, it is the backwards S right there. Same thing on the back of the cape. You got the backward S looking very nice. And speaking of this cape, how about it? Soft goods, wired cape. What more could you want? Playing all the hits right here, Todd McFarlane. Sad it took you this long to get these beautiful capes going, but now they're here. Let's finish it off with more beautiful capes. Love those, of course. Love the blue color on Bizzaro as well. A beautiful blue throughout on this one here. Looking very, very nice. You got the red trunks going on. You got the yellow belt as well. A little bit of skin showing through on the hands and, of course, the neck and the head. Got the red boots down below, looking very good as well. Arms all the way around for us. You do get a little bit of butterfly in there. Nothing to really write home about. Bicep cut. Single jointed elbow. What are we doing here? Single joints. What is this? What is this? And it's pinned. Pinned single joint? That's the bane of my existence right there. Truly, how bizarre. How bizarre. Hands back and forth, side to side. Head back and forth, side to side. Hula hoop up top, plus a little traditional waist. A lot of movement on this one here compared to your average figure. A little bit extra articulation, it feels like, at least in this vicinity. Not in the arms, though. Not in the arms. Double jointed pinned knees going on there. Ankles back, forth, side to side, up and down. And got those ugly balls down there in the ankles. Just god-awful, of course. Foot does go up, though. You do got the toe articulation. Like a true, real deal Todd McFarlane right there. So Bizzaro, extra bizarre here. And some bizarre articulation. Balls in the ankles. A few interesting things going on with this Bizzaro. But that being said, even with those issues there, still my favorite Bizzaro figure we've got from McFarlane so far. Looks very, very good. And this is when I close my eyes, as I do many a nights. This is what I think of with Bizzaro, of course. But we've had Bizzaro in the past. This was the first edition here, way back when. Man, we've come a long ways, Todd. We've come a long ways, except we've also went backwards in ways. This one's got double jointed elbows. This one does not. What are we doing? What are we doing? But then we do got Bizzaro, the last version. We got in a 2-pack with Batzaro was that one. So we did get Bizzaro just recently here. But between all three, this is the one I think of there. And then, of course, Superman, a classic Superman to go with that Bizzaro. This is kind of the one I think of. This is the brand new DC digital version of Superman. Unboxed this on Kyle Peterson 2.0 just a couple of weeks ago. What is time once again? But that one pairs with this one pretty good. In my brain. Maybe yours as well. Let me know in the comments. But Bizzaro, a must-have, dare I say. I feel this is a must-have if you're collecting the classic versions. And I'm calling this one the classic version of Bizzaro. He is a must-have. And like I said, hitting Walmarts right now. So check your local Walmart. Your mileage, of course, may vary. But there it is. Bizzaro. What's your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments down low. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Check out YouTube channel memberships and Patreon for even more content. My brand new podcast every single Tuesday, The Kyle Peterson Show. Appreciate all the support over there. You can find it wherever audio podcasts are found. Videocast on YouTube, of course. Appreciate all the support by everybody on the new podcast endeavor out there. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and The Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com. And my new book, The Complete Guide to ECW Original San Francisco Toy Makers, available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or via me if you want to pick one up autographed, of course. So there it is. Bizzaro McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Gold Label. I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we going to dance or are we going to play?
We're going to the end of the line.